Welcome to Sholicast, the podcast all about Lolly and Shota, including Not Safe for Work. Sholicast is hosted by me, Hydro, and Dr. X. We're the developers of Insexual Awakening, a straight Shota visual novel game with incest, lollies, MILFs, onesans, and even a femboy character if you play Insexual Awakening 2, our sequel. If you'd like to play our games, you can download them at our official blog at barag.net/cyberhex. And if you'd like to support Insexual Awakening's continued development and this podcast, you can join our Subscribestar at subscribestar.adult/cyberhex. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Sholicast, everybody. I'm Hydro. I'm with Dr. X once again. And today's guest for our episode is none other than Orenji. Hi, Orenji. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Welcome.
Tell us about the kind of artwork that you do and what you primarily like to create.
Basically, when I started, it was primarily kind of more adult-oriented art. Because actually, in the beginning, so what got me into that whole thing was drawing art of characters that don't really get much art. And basically, I was doing that for a few years until basically I got banned off Twitter for posting the adult lolicon. So fortunately, about a month prior to that, I started a Safer Work account. Basically, I just switched to Safer Work art a few years ago. So partially, it was because of actually not being allowed to post adult work, but there's also an aspect that I wanted to try just something a bit different. I felt that adult art, at least the adult art I was doing, was starting to get a bit samey. I was just kind of drawing the same thing over and over. I kind of used that as an opportunity to just kind of get out of my comfort zone and try a few different things out. So for the last couple of years, I've been focusing primarily on Safer Work art. From there, I've been trying to practice a bit more with colors and composition and that kind of thing. Recently, I switched back into adult art just as for kind of support, and a lot of people were asking for it, so I decided to just do it at least a bit. So as far as the actual content of the art for Safer Work stuff, it's mostly just kind of nice looking pictures. I'm not quite at that point yet, but I try to at least capture the feeling of artists like Komichi, who does the covers for Comic Glow, Range Murata, those types of guys. I'm still like nowhere near as good as them, but I tried to at least capture a little bit of that kind of feeling. So like a cute girl in like a nice environment that kind of, it's got a almost sense of calmness and relaxation. I don't know if that's a good way to explain it, but something a bit like that.
I think one of your most iconic characters or character types is the smug lolly.
Well, that was kind of by accident. I find a lot of the stuff that I've done recently is by accident, because basically that started with this random picture that I made. And you've probably seen the meme with the guy from the Emperor's New Groove, and he's holding up like the Monster Fucker license.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
I saw that, and I was thinking of like doing kind of a parody of that with like a Meitsuraki, but she's holding up like an Oni-chan kisser license.
Love it.
Oh, I think I remember this one, yes.
Yes, I remember that. Amazing.
Love that one too.
So I kind of just threw that out. Wasn't expecting very much from it, but it like really took off. It hit over like 10,000 likes, where usually I'll get your 4,000. I kind of went with it, and it seemed to like become really popular. I did another picture of her, X-ray of her brain, where like Oni-chan is like 90% of her brain's face.
Oh my God, yes. Wow, you've done some amazing ones. It's really memorable.
With the first tweet I did that hit like over 20,000 likes.
Dang.
With the most recent picture of like an enemy of a gamer, I kind of almost regret not putting her in it, because now everybody's drawing the girl from that meme, and I feel like I NT-uttered my own characters.
So you basically have had just a lot of happy accidents with these hilarious like meme formats that have, I mean, that's impressive to have, you first have the Oni-chan kisser, that gets 10,000 likes, and then you get the hilarious like brain like filled with it, and then that one's 20,000, and then I mean the recent one that of the Anatomy of a Gamer, I mean, how many likes did that get before the untimely Twitter ban?
I think that got up to like 45,000.
Jesus Christ, holy crap.
Well, I think it also hit like 22 million views.
Oh man, that's awesome.
In the very beginning, I was thinking like, oh wow, maybe this will hit like 1 million. But it just doesn't stall.
Yeah, it's like it's a snowball effect on Twitter.
Yeah.
Also very, very exploitable since so many people have made parodies of it.
Yeah. I left the one thing that I'm really happy about. Like, it kind of makes the banning of my Twitter account worth it, because at least I got to become flavor of the month at least one time. So.
It's like a cultural icon now, practically.
And I think it started with a guy who did Konosuba, like Megumin edit, and then it just kind of exploded from there. Like, I really wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, you know what, it was one of those perfect storm things, because, you know, Konosuba is a very popular anime, and it had just started airing, I think, just a couple weeks ago, probably at the time when you posted, so it lined up perfectly. Yeah, like it's one of those things where if you get the perfect formatting where other people can make fan art of it, that seems to kind of be the new thing in the artist circle anyway, that really starts to gain momentum. If you get like a template that can be modified and very pliable and molded into whatever you want. There's tons and tons of like, I mean, you've got your own meme page now on the, Know Your Meme.
Yes, I was checking that out earlier. Bunch of cool stuff.
I saved a couple good back and forths. Like, there was some guy did it with a normal gamer and an adult girlfriend. And of course, it's like the same girl, but she like much taller. She has large breasts. And then some guy took that and edited it so that there's the gamer family, where the child girlfriend became the wife and the mother, and the adult girl became the daughter.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That's extremely anime.
That's why it worked so well.
Yes, like that could be in an anime easily, and I would watch it.
I feel like that there was an anime like that. I could have sworn there was. I think that's what they were parodying, possibly.
This is peak family. I've seen on Brag, like, so many people have been like tagging you and trying to show you their take on it, and like there's been so many different kinds of characters, and yeah, it's just been amazing, and it's spread on so much fan art. So even though your Twitter account was suspended, your legacy definitely remains from that meme.
I was actually also surprised that people have started a free Orenji hashtag.
Oh, I got to see that on Twitter. Yeah,
I have to check that out after. I got to see it.
I've seen like a few people share a few people messaging Elon. He'll make some post about Twitter's, or I guess X or whatever, is a free speech platform, and then in the thousands of comments, there's one guy saying "Free Orenji." Yeah, hopefully we can get it back.
Yeah.
I don't mind too much, because it's not like a huge loss or anything. Like, you can rebuild, but there is one thing that I do miss, or that I do regret about losing it, is I was followed by the guy who made Maiden Abyss.
Oh dang, you were?
Oh man, that's awesome.
And that's my like one edge of pride.
Did you screenshot it when it first happened?
I screenshotted it right before my account got deleted, because I was suspecting something.
Well, this is good foresight.
Okay. Good. You got the memento of it. Yes. No one can take that away.
And you said that you were especially doing fan art of characters that you didn't find a lot of fan art of. What were some of those characters?
In the beginning, like recently, I've kind of fell into my niche, and I do less of that. But in the beginning, at least, for example, I think the earliest pictures you can find on my Pixiv is panty and stocking, which it wasn't quite rare to find art of panty and stocking. But I tried to at least simulate the style from the show, which was a lot harder to find art for.
Oh, so usually in fan art of those characters, they would be done in the artist's own style, not trying to emulate the show style.
Well, typically they would be the more realistic style because the show was primarily in a very. Are you familiar with the show Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt?
Yes, I've watched some of the episodes, and I've actually been meaning to watch more of them because I'm not really sure why. I think it's just because it's so unabashedly vulgar that appeals to me in some way. It's kind of refreshing.
Like I'm a very visual person. Like visuals are really important to me, so that's kind of what drew me into the show. A lot of people who do art for it, they'll do kind of like this more standard anime style that you occasionally see in the show. But I really wanted to do something more in line with the unique style that the show is known for. So I think you can find like a bit, but it's a lot more rare than some of the other art. So it's kind of where I started there, as well as doing just a couple of doing some art of some or random IPs. Like there's one comic, like it was a web comic called Cucumber Quest. I liked the character design then a lot. It's a very kind of cute art style, and if you searched like online for erotic art of it, it's the time at least there is not much good stuff in my opinion. So I drew a bit of that as well. And there's a couple of like obscure kind of indie games that I did art for. And then I really got going once I got into Little Witch Academia. I was kind of one of the first people to do art for it. I can't remember exactly what it said, but it's kind of gotten a lot more popular since then. So it's not quite obscure anymore, but kind of became my niche for quite a while. So I got quite a lot of art of it. And then from there, I've kind of focused less on obscure stuff and just kind of being whatever I feel like.
Studio Trigger, I think Little Witch Academia was their second anime that the studio worked on, if I recall correctly. So they were still, I think they were still not like super popular like now, of course. Now, like everybody's watching Delicious in Dungeon, which is done by Studio Trigger. So it's like everybody knows about them now, of course, with everything they've done.
I can't remember the exact order of the shows, but it was definitely kind of on the earlier side of them. I was a fan of Gainax before Trigger. Basically, a lot of the animators from Gainax split off to form their own companies. So I basically followed them into Trigger. But they've definitely been a big factor on my art style.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, they do have a very distinct style, and I think Dr. X and I we've watched Darling in the Franxx, and we actually really liked it. And that's another studio and that was like their own original work too. It wasn't adapted from anything. So yeah, they're a fun studio. I really like their expressive kind of action sequences and also the very expressive character like emotions and stuff. And you can see it a bit in Delicious in Dungeon too, in certain sequences, that Studio Trigger style. And it's a lot of fun. That's why they've really made their own identity. So I can see why you like them so much and you want to kind of follow their style.
So it sounds like you've been doing lolly art for a while. How did you, if you know, how did you initially get into lolly in the first place?
I might even be able to remember like the first picture, but basically I was a user of those early file sharing applications like Kazaa or LimeWire.
Ooh, wow, real classic throwbacks there.
Now, way back 100 years ago in the 1990s, I guess maybe for people who aren't familiar with it, you download a program and you can share a folder on your computer, and anybody else who has that same program can do the same. And effectively, you can find files on everyone's computers or connected through that application. And that's kind of how everybody shared files. Because it was at the very least before Google was popular. That was kind of your primary way of finding stuff. You might be familiar with it, but there is this picture of Misty from Pokemon on a Starfree. Is like naked on a Starfree. I think that was like the first picture I saw, and it kind of went from there.
It awakened you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Misty ended up doing that a lot for people who got into the lolly characters. Like that's why Misty's such like a Like Dr. X and I have talked about this before, but like Misty is one of those characters that like when people create NSFW art of her and they like age her up slightly or whatever, like most people don't like they don't freak out over it because I think Misty's just in that special category of being so iconic and legendary that nobody really bothers anyone that much about it.
It's basically because like she's so iconic and so well known that, as I said in a different episode, I think she was like most popular or most iconized before that kind of wave on Twitter and elsewhere on the internet where it became kind of more popular to be anti-Lolly, because she was like in the 90s in the cartoon show and everything. So a lot of people, you'll see less people being butthurt about her being used for like erotic cosplay or anything.
I noticed a couple characters like that. I think another one is girl from Den 10.
Oh, Gwen. Yes. Yep. She's another one. Yep.
And so I think she's like another character where I guess people are so used to it, they just kind of don't care.
Yep, that's right. They'll just make her a little taller and give her a bigger breast and say she's 18. And now you can fap.
Yep. And the Teen Titan characters too could technically apply, though they're already like older looking than like Gwen and Misty, but they definitely fall in that category as well.
They do have a disadvantage if you want to like post like porn of them on like Patreon or something. It's the fact that the group that they're part of is called Teen Titans.
Yeah. Now your characters that you've like, do you have a couple different OCs, right? So those OCs, how did you come up with them, or how did you design them?
First one, I feel bad about my first OC because he's kind of forgotten. If I'd locked away in a closet somewhere, I should do some more art of her. But very first one, I actually made through Twitter polls. When I was starting, I wanted to kind of just try something to get more interaction with people. So I decided to make a monster girl. And basically, I just put up a ton of polls for people to decide on various features. Well, I would do something like tail, yes, no, horns, yes, no, hair type, should it be long hair, short hair, kind of thing. I don't remember how many polls exactly, but maybe after 10 or so polls, I drew something based on them, and then I got my first OC that way. And she ended up being, well, she's basically like a goat with a very long tail. Basically, she acts like a caveman, but she's very stupid and orny. That's kind of where I went with that one. And I drew that for a while, but she kind of just got lost in time. The second one I did, I think it was maybe a year later. Goats was kind of more for adult content. So I wanted to create another character who was more kind of innocent and not really something for like lewd art, like a scale. So on one side of the scale is Uck, and the other side of the scale is Protect. I wanted to have a character much more towards the Protect side of the scale. So I ended up making like a homeless girl as my OC, where I'm pretty bad at names. I usually think of something stupid, so I just called her Hoboko.
Hoboko, I like it though.
I wanted to just make her like very like cute, and it's kind of more like a father instinct towards her. So I haven't drawn any lewd art of her. I'm okay with other people doing it, but for me, I wanted to just keep her as kind of like a safe for work character. But people seem to take a liking to her, so I drew her for a while. Then the third one was, can't remember at all why. I think I just drew a random picture and people liked it, so I just went with it. But she ended up being a goblin. And I had an idea for the story behind her, but I never really wept anywhere with it, kind of because I'm too lazy. I wanted to make like an aristocratic goblin society, but keep the tropes of goblins that they're like really stupid.
Nice.
I'm imagining like this kind of, like this society that kind of pretends that is very high class. Like they'll dress up very finely and they'll kind of speak in like a fine manner. But really all they do is get together and discuss how to beat up level 1 players and take their stuff.
Honestly, goblins, that's kind of gold mine there. A lot of people like the goblin girls.
Yeah, I've noticed goblins are really, really popular. So
Oh, I love them. And especially if they're like lolly goblins, then it's like super amazing. And they're not super common, I don't think. So seeing more of them is welcome.
yeah, I find goblin, they're mostly on like short stacks. Finding kind of more like a lolly goblin. Yeah, it's not quite as common, but at least for personality type with, I went more like a tsundere. So I didn't really have any tsunderes.
That's pretty classic to go with that for a goblin girl. I like it.
Oh, it's not quite the most original character, but she's fun to draw, so.
Nice.
When you think about it, designing a character, it's not so much like trying to make them totally like different from anything else, but it's about giving them like a really good identity. Like very identifiable, even if they don't say anything, even if you just post a picture and they, like your smug lolly, for example, like most people, when they see that they immediately know who that character is. And I think that's like the really important thing, is giving a good identity to a character.
The smug one, I was kind of pure luck, as I wasn't really intending that to be my character or anything. I did, I guess, kind of get lucky because she happened to have a lot of the things that I like. Like I like big glasses, I like braids, that kind of thing. So it was a bit lucky to she got popular.
It always seemed to me like you put a lot of love into that character. That's what it always felt like to me. Like I could sense that, and it's great. It turned out to be pretty popular.
Just ended up having a lot of potential. So there's kind of all kind of situations and things you can draw up there. So.
Oh, absolutely. Also, like since maybe some listeners might not know what I think you pronounce it Mesugaki is. Could you explain what kind of character that is?
Oh yeah. So on Mesugaki, it's been like really, really popular recently. Like I think like even Blue Archives and getting into it. Basically, Mesugaki is, in Japanese, you break it into like Mesu and Gaki. The Gaki is like a brat. And Mesu is actually, technically it means female. Typically, you only use Mesu on animals. Oh, it's a very derogatory kind of way, but it's basically, you're just saying like it's like a shitty female brat, that kind of thing. But it's kind of like a character who is so smug. You almost resent her and you want like revenge on her for being so smug. You want to correct her, basically.
Yeah, the correction, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely seen some doujins of that.
Any character that kind of like a woolly that is very like kind of dominating and aggressive, I think you can file under Mesugaki.
Right, and I think it appeals both to like the kind of the people who like femdom and the people who want to correct her, basically. So it has pretty widespread appeal in a lot of ways.
Allows them to have their cake and eat it too, basically.
Yes. But a person might even enjoy both, like initially being femdom by the lolly and then correcting her afterwards.
Yeah, well, that's like the duality of man. You'll see like a doujin where it starts off like she's the aggressor, and then it kind of slips at the end, and you'll see in comments like half of them like it and half of them hate it. They want her to stay the aggressor and half of them like to reverse it. So
yes, like okay, so what's your take on that? What do you like?
I would probably prefer her to stay the aggressor, or at least maybe be, in some cases it can be switched around, but I think probably prefer her to stay the aggressor. Right,
so that would be like the man is a little reluctant, but the Mesugaki in the end kind of domineers her way into having her way with him, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think a really good example, this kind of goes back a bit. This might be like the proto Mesugaki, but do you know the artist Inuboshi?
No, I don't think I've seen them yet.
Okay, they don't really draw much anymore. They were a lot more popular like a couple years back. They did a lot of art. I think it was comic LO. There is one, I think if you search on like Sad Anda or something, you'll find it. It's called Akina. And I think that's like one of the best executions I've seen of like a Mesudaki.
Gotta check that out sometime.
earlier I was looking up that Cucumber Quest, and that those are some very, very cute characters, and I've never heard of that either. And I can see why you got interested in wanting to make fan art of those characters. So it's very, very, very fun, very, very appealing.
Yeah, it's a very cute style. So I think a lot of it's a Western comic.
If it's a Western thing, because it's a West and not Japan, you might also see less lolly art of the fan art of it in general. What I'm saying is, when you do fan art of like Western lollies, you're doing us a big favor.
Actually, one thing I was kind of thinking of what I might try. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to stick with the art style or just do it more anime, but Simpsons has a character, Jessica Lovejoy. Basically, I was watching just random Simpsons clips, and I ran across some clips from that episode, and I think she kind of fits in with the template of like Misagaki. She's kind of very like aggressive and of like conniving and that kind of thing. But I kind of want to try to draw something of her. I don't know exactly how, because like the Simpsons, like the style itself is so different from what I typically draw. Doesn't quite lend itself all that well to the kind of art that I draw, but something that I maybe want to try just like as a challenge.
Yeah, that would be fun to see.
One thing I found that I want to try to emulate more is if you see Japanese artists drawing Western cartoons, there's something like really, really good about it. It has something that it kind of adds to it in a way. It's kind of silhouette you panty and stocking.
I remember there was like a doujin of Steven and Garnet from Steven Universe that a Japanese artist did, and man, it was fantastic straight Shota. I loved it. It was so good. but they really took a lot of liberties with like the style of Garnet and Steven, but you could still knew it was them from the show. So it was still very fun, and like you could still picture it like, oh yeah, this is definitely within like Steven Universe. Yes, the hidden episode where Garnet finally fucks Steven.
I've also noticed that there's quite a lot of Japanese fan art of like a show like South Park, especially when it comes to the yaoi stuff.
Well, yeah. They even did like an episode on it.
Yeah.
Oh, they kind of reference their own standards.
And that's so interesting. Yeah.
Especially among like girls.
Yes, the Fujoshis, the yaoi fangirls.
that episode was amazing on South Park. That was one of my favorites.
That's something I've wondered about, like why. I'm not sure if you know or anyone has any ideas about it. Like, why did South Park become so popular among them, or even in Japan in general?
Yeah, that I really don't know. Like, I know it has like a dub here.
That probably helped a lot.
Gosh, yeah, I don't really know.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about whenever that kind of thing happens. It's because it's usually the other way around, right? Like some kind of anime or Japanese thing gets popular in the West, but the other way around, it seems to be happen less often. So that's why it makes it more interesting.
I think maybe something that could have been a factor with South Park is because the characters are so simple, and the Japanese will kind of want to draw it more anime style, is that characters are almost like a blank slate in how to stylize them. So I think that may be a factor in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I mean, maybe that could also explain why, like, when Japanese artists take a Western animated show character and they kind of put it in their own style, it feels like kind of like an upgrade, like you said, because they're kind of taking a fairly simplified style and putting their own spin on it. And then suddenly you go, oh wow, it's like they've actually brought out more of the character than the original show, or they gave their own unique spin on it.
Yeah.
So how long have you been drawing? Did you start drawing when you were a kid, or more into adulthood?
I've been drawing since I was a kid. It's mostly, I guess, a little hobby. Like I never really took it all that seriously until maybe after in university, maybe once I started working, just in my free time. I think there is some point where I just kind of thought, you know what, I want to have this as my like main hobby. I did a lot more kind of studying and figure drawing, practicing perspective, kind of just studying the more, technical aspects of art. A bit after that, I decided to just kind of make a Twitter account and just see where I can go. And I was actually, in my very first account, it was not safe for work, but did surprisingly well. It was very motivating to kind of up with it because I had kind of certain goals for follower numbers and that kind of thing. I know kind of follower numbers, they don't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but I really like to see numbers go up. So I had that kind of goal. But, it was going really well until eventually I lost my account and then switched to safe for work. Basically, since then, I've been focusing a lot more on drawing and keeping it as I don't know, you'd say it's like primary skill, something like that.
Right. And I think you even have a fan box right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the fan box surprised me. I guess it's because it's not safe for work, but before that, I had a Patreon. They eventually banned me despite being like safe for work, but I guess the official policy of Patreon is that you can get banned for stuff you do off of the Patreon website.
Yeah, which is plenty stupid, yes. So.
Yeah, Soundbox isn't going very well, so I'm very happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah, so listeners, if you like Orenji's stuff, if you like his meme, if you like his Smug Lolly, or like his art in general, be sure to support him if you can. I'm sure he's got tons of great stuff there.
Now, when did you first come across like Barag and joining it? Like, was that shortly after like you first got banned off Twitter of the Not Safe for Work account, or was it more just kind of you just heard about it and were like, oh, well, I'll go check it out, or how did you find out?
I enjoy like open source software. I kind of follow a bit of tech news and that kind of thing. So I heard about the Mastodon protocol before I heard about Barag. And it's something that I was interested in. It sounded like a good alternative to the way social media is usually done. I can't remember exactly when I heard of Barag. Oh, I do remember I started with Pau, which is the Pixiv. Well, I think it's sold now, but originally it was run by Pixiv, and it was essentially the same thing as Barag, but run by Pixiv. And I think at some point I heard about Barag, and it looked kind of more interesting, I guess you could say. It was more like grassroots. So I did an account on Barag, and originally I was kind of doing both the Pau and the Barag simultaneously, but I grew to be less and less interested in Pau. Barag just kind of become my main Mastodon account.
Yeah, that's great. And I think you joined in 2019, looks like.
Probably. I think it's probably a while back, so might be when I was first stand. So yeah, probably as a result of that.
Because you still want a place to post your stuff, and that's why Barag is so great, is that you can post any kind of artwork you want there. You don't have to worry about it. So I really have to thank Koi again for that. You might have been especially interested in Koi's episode since he does talk about like the open source stuff.
No, with like Born to Die. I follow Born to Die, so I saw his episode. Of course, like Koi is quite well known, so I heard about his episode as well. So I ended up watching those two. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, they were definitely fun episodes.
Definitely seems like that kind of guy who I think he mentioned it. He's like a workaholic. He's one of those guys who just like does everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, because if no one else is doing it, then he's got to do it. I'm sure he probably had that attitude, and thank God for that.
I'm kind of the opposite. I just want like a comfy life.
Hey, I respect that a lot too.
Yeah, why not?
Kind of trying to direct my life to be as comfy as possible.
No, that's great. Like, just, comfy life, drawing lollies. That sounds good to me.
I think that we should all strive for that.
Yes, that's an end goal, even for people who are workaholics in the community. I think, all the people who are like admins of the websites and stuff, what they really want is just for everyone in the community to be able to post their art or talk about Lolly and Shoto. So I'm glad there's people shooting for that. And of course, even the people who aren't like adminning websites or anything like that, they're hugely important too. Like, they're honestly in a lot of ways the backbone of the community, making their art, because that's what draws people in.
I mean, think about it. I mean, your meme of Anatomy of a Gamer, that may have, who knows, that may have intrigued some people who didn't know about Barag previously or didn't know about you previously, and then they, discover more. But who knows? Your image or your characters may be like the Misty thing that happened with you. Like, that may happen. So some artist, 15 years from now is just like, well, I remember that back then there was this artist called Orenji, and he made this awesome smug lolly art, and it was great. And
I would not be surprised at that. I mean, you can even see now that there's people who maybe haven't even done art before, or maybe are beginner artists, and they got inspired by that meme, by your artwork, to do more art. I definitely see that happening right now, and I think that's amazing.
Occasionally, I get people asking for like art advice and that kind of thing. So I'm usually happy to give a bit of feedback when people ask.
Oh, see, that's great.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, one thing I wanted to ask you is when you were kind of like really getting more into art, I think you said after university and, learning and really trying to get into it. What's one thing that you wish at that time that you had known about the art progress or learning more about art? Is there anything you can mention?
I think I wish I studied a little bit more of the fundamentals. I'm kind of more of a go first, worry about it later, where I'm kind of fully self-studied, so I skipped a bit of the fundamentals in my kind of art journey. But I guess maybe that's kind of one thing I wish I focused a little bit more on. It's kind of like the hard study aspect of it, but I can't complain too much.
Yeah, I mean, I like your art is great now, so it did work out for you. And there's if there's anything in the fundamentals you still want to sharpen your skills on, you still got the time to do it. You can still do it, so that's a great thing. I guess when it comes to the fundamentals, it's kind of like people kind of find that boring, and I think that's one of the barriers. I guess like a good balance could be like drawing the fun stuff and learning more about the fundamentals at the same time. That might be a good balance. Just kind of not neglecting your like creative needs, but also not neglecting your like intellectual needs, like for the fundamental stuff.
I think you have to kind of find a balance, because if you focus too much on the studying, you lose interest. But if you focus too much on the fun, you can't quite get to what you could do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, when you self-studied, was that like a process of, I'm gonna watch some videos of other artists, or I'm gonna look at other artwork that I like and kind of try to imitate it, or like how did you like do the self-studying process over time?
So it's kind of a mix. A big portion of it was just practicing stuff like perspective, my drawing boxes. In the beginning, I would draw like box characters where the torso would be like a cube, the head would be a cube, arms would be cubes. And then just kind of practice drawing them in different perspectives and angles and that kind of thing. Part of it is studying anatomy, how long the arms should be, like knee joints, that kind of stuff. And then another aspect is studying specific works. I would have like maybe an artist that I like, and I would try to draw something in their style. I did this a lot with Little Witch Academia in the beginning, where I would try to emulate the style by drawing characters while looking at screenshots and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a mix of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I know a lot of people recommend just trying to draw in the style of the art style that you like and would eventually like to have. And I think your idea of kind of having a balance of both the fundamentals and the fun stuff that makes the most sense to me. So you're not missing out on either. Keeps you motivated and informed. For kind of lolly and Shota art, because there's not like as much kind of like instructional material on the internet or wherever. For me, that makes it even more kind of inspiring or amazing to me that there's all these like amazing lolly and Shota artists, even though like there's not tons of like how-to stuff for making lolly and Shota art.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if somebody made like a whole booklet on it. That'd be awesome. There is on ATF. Someone's translating to English a book that's like how to draw Shotas. So I've been following that because I think it's very interesting. Nice.
The people in the thread, even myself, because I was wondering if there was like how to draw a lolly book. I couldn't find it. I could find something that was kind of like it, but it doesn't seem like that stuff is in abundance. And I was even looking on the Japanese version of Amazon for that, and I couldn't really find it. So I feel like when it comes to lolly and Shota, like learning how to draw that. I bet people probably like just try to reference other artists who are already in the scene rather than, because they don't really have a lot of options for like instructional how-to books. So they kind of just had to see what other artists who are already doing it are what they're doing.
Pretty much what I had to do in some, I would have certain artists that I liked, and I would just try to copy the proportions and that kind of stuff from them.
Yeah, it's worked out for you.
Yeah, it worked. It worked very well.
Yep. So do you have any like plans for the future, like for your fan box or for your art in general?
Enough. Like a few years ago, I did doujinshi, pretty much mostly Little Witch Academia, but I've done a little bit of other stuff like Game-o-san and that kind of thing. But recently, I haven't really been doing much for doujin, and I kind of want to get back into it. Like I've been to Komike, I've sold that Komike and like Funike and that kind of stuff a couple of times, and it's a lot of stress, but it's fun. So I kind of want to get back into that.
Oh, so you've actually been to conventions and stuff?
Yeah, just in Japan. Like I'm kind of like a bit north of Tokyo, so it's not too bad to get into Tokyo for the events.
Oh, that's lucky.
Basically, the hard part is just getting the drawings and stuff, because doing a whole doujin is more work than you'd think. And in the beginning, like the first couple, I was basically like negative, like after printing costs and all that kind of thing. And I started to get into the positives after a couple books, but it's really, I do it because the whole process is enjoyable. It's not really like a money thing. I kind of want to get back into doing doujin. Problem is, like right now, there's not too much that I want to draw of, like anything recent. So maybe as a show or something really piques my interest in the future, maybe I'll do another doujin.
That would be awesome.
Another thing that I want to try to do is do a comic for like one of the magazines, like Comic LO or like Kai Rakuten or something like that.
Well, that'd be awesome if I saw your artwork in Comic Low. Damn.
I really want to do that. I've heard that the editors can be like very, very strict, and you have to like redraw stuff all the time, and it could be kind of tough. But I do want to try that.
Yeah, it's a good long-term goal.
Because the long-term goals are what, you kind of keep in you try to like keep them as like the main, like a focus in the back of your mind. And that keeps you motivated, right? It keeps you motivated. Like, all right, I'm working my way towards this and I want to reach there. And I mean, getting there would be amazing.
I know that if I try, I can do it. It's just kind of mustering up motivation to actually and the time and work on it. And I'd have to kind of travel. I think I'd have to like travel into Tokyo, like meetings and that kind of thing. It's kind of, I don't know, it's definitely outside my comfort zone, but I think it'll be worth it if I do end up pulling it off.
Yeah. In the meantime, you could just kind of build yourself up there, like do more and more projects that would kind of make it less out of your comfort zone if you do decide to go for Comic Low or other comics like that. Where
can people find your different like social media sites? Like you have your Barag, correct? And you have your Fanbox. Are there any other social media sites that you utilize?
Yeah, so I'm also on Dixiv. I think I link to all of them from each other. Oh, for example, if you go on my Barag account, you can see the links to all of my other accounts.
Nice.
It's Barag, Dixiv, Fanbox, and I also have a Miski account, which is a bit similar to Barag. It's on the same Mastodon system. So if you're on Barag, you can follow me from Miski. If you're on Miski, you can follow me on Barag. They connect with each other. Oh, either one of those is okay. Hopefully I get my Twitter account back at some point and trying out some advice I got about appealing the extension. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I hope you get it back. And in the meantime, everyone can follow Orenji on Barag, and he's got some great stuff there. Definitely worth checking out for sure. And at this point, it's kind of impossible to escape the parodies of your Anatomy of a Gamer.
yeah, really.
which is great. Some great art made of that stuff. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's still like way more than I ever really expected. Like I was expecting maybe for it to do similar to some of my other joke posts, Also, it kind of surprised me how many people think I gained from that just because I wouldn't delete it. Because to be honest, in the beginning, I was kind of considering deleting it because I don't really like drama or anything like that. Right before my account died, I think I started to get into the drama, which is maybe not so great. But for the most part, I don't like participating in drama. So I was kind of considering deleting it to let things cool down. But I think by not deleting, a lot of people started to really root for me. So in the end, I'm glad I didn't delete it, even if I lost my account.
Me too.
Yeah, we're definitely glad that you kind of stuck to your guns and kind of was just like, no, I will keep this Anatomy of a Gamer. I will.
I feel bad for some people, like that the artist, I think their name is Diva. They draw like the cute nun pictures. Quite a popular account, but they draw like every day. It's crazy. They did a parody of it, and I think they kind of got harassed for it. So I feel kind of bad for some of the people who just kind of wanted to participate in it, but ended up biting off more than they could chew.
That's too bad.
Yeah, I think they ended up deleting it. I don't really blame them. I can understand not wanting to see the drama, but I'm at the very least happy they did it in the first place. So I appreciate that.
They're the ones who they're the one who does the nuns and the ducks, that stuff.
Galio.
And what was their parody like? Like, what did it say? Do you remember?
Can't remember. It had to do with frogs, so it's like anatomy of like a frog enthusiast or something like that. But
I love that.
And like they had a frog GF, where GF was good friend.
see that's wholesome. You can't. People shouldn't have harassed it.
It's a cute parody, so it's unfortunate like people kind of target for just for drawing it.
Instead of spreading hate, you got to spread love and just enjoy life.
Yeah, I've been trying something like weaponized kindness.
I like that.
Where some of the people who were just commenting on me, I would just be like nice to them.
Yeah.
And they would just get like confused and angry, but I would just be nice and just let's fight.
That's definitely a better approach than trying to be combative with them.
Oh yeah, much better.
I think on the internet, when it's like you don't even know the other person, all you can do is just kind of be a likable person and then just let it go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I think you have the perfect approach with that, very good approach with that. That's the way it is. And when you look at Parag and how much great fan art has been on there, it's been kind of the total opposite experience where everyone's having a great time and complimenting each other's funny parodies and different takes on it. So that's a great example of what to strive for in the community. Yeah,
even though we've gotten hate before and harassment, that we should be a loving and friendly community that's nice to everyone. That's what we really should do, just in general, in a general sort of way. And it's also good if we want more people to join in the community, or more people to participate if we have the community very welcoming and and nice and friendly. So I absolutely think that's the way to go.
In a way, we're moving back to the separated a forum approach of like the earlier internet, which I think it's got pros and cons. I think it does make like a much better community. It's a lot more community oriented. The negative to it is you don't quite get the same reach. Like the benefit of Twitter is even though you've got so many people, it just causes a lot of tension and fighting. You're able to reach people that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Well, there's kind of pros and cons to both. Right now, I'm liking kind of the balance of just having, if I get my Twitter account back, having both accounts. And one is just kind of like a nice environment. And the other one is somewhere I can just reach more people. So I think maybe that might end up being the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I hope you get your Twitter account back.
I've already seen some people just adding Elon, like, bring back Orenji. What I understand, it's if you hit a certain threshold for reports, it just automatically bans you. If it is that case, you just keep appealing and eventually they just unban you. So things like it might be that.
Yeah. Right. So like I said, in the meantime, everyone can follow you on Bragg. Well, you should do that either way, even if he gets his Twitter account back. Follow him on Bragg.
Follow him everywhere.
Yeah, follow him everywhere on Pixiv too. Miss Key.
Rog and Pixiv, I think, are my safest accounts. Like I don't really expect them to go anywhere. So
yeah, you'll be fine there, which is great. So cool. And like I said, he's also got a fan box So make sure to support him there and see some great stuff, great art. And yeah, it was a great episode with you, Orenji. We learned a lot, and it was very fascinating to talk to the man behind the meme and all the great art.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we really appreciate you jumping on, so soon after, the meme really blew up and stuff. And yeah, I think a lot of people are going to enjoy listening to everything you talked about.
Yeah, it's been a good time, and maybe I'll do another episode one day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'll be fantastic.